Hi, Kristen.
Hi, guys.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
So good. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, welcome, guys. Again, my name's Catherine. This is Kristen with Kristen Marriott Weddings and Portraits. We're so excited to have you on board with us today, talking about all things wedding and all things wedding photography. So, I wanted to first introduce you and have you introduce yourself. Let us know a little bit about your background and how you managed to get into weddings.
Okay. Well, I'm Kristen, obviously, Kristen Marie Weddings and Portraits. I have had my business for 11 years now.
Wow.
The first, yeah, it's been a progression over the 11 years. I started, when I was pretty young, and I had loved photography always. And in high school, I was the president of the photo club, and it was all black and white film. And I was in the darkroom every day, after school. It became my passion. And it all kind of stemmed from there. I went to college for photography, so I have a degree in photography as well. And afterwards, it just kind of sprang into weddings. There was a friend of a friend who needed somebody, and I did my first wedding. I think it was 2009. I did my first wedding, and I just remember, calling my friends on the way home and just being like, that was amazing. That was the best thing I've ever done. I can't wait to do this again. I have to do this. So, I made it official. I got my business license and my insurance and all that stuff. And 11 years later, here I am.
Awesome. Well, that's fabulous. The best way to start doing something is to fall into what you love. So that is spectacular. So some of the things that make your style so wonderful and spectacular is that it's timeless and relaxed yet polished, which I think is so important because those photos last a lifetime, but you don't want to feel like you were just in a box or stiff or feeling uncomfortable. So what are some of the things about your photography that make it a little bit different and make it shine?
Yeah, so timeless and relaxed yet polished is kind of like the words that I live by and I think about when I'm photographing every wedding. I want it to be classic and elegant and a true reflection of your day. I'm not going to distort the colors. I'm not going to, do some editing that is, put some filters on it that are kind of trendy of the moment. And don't get me wrong, I love that stuff too. And I sometimes find myself thinking, oh, should I go that direction? With some of the more, recent kind of trendy editing styles. Mm-hmm. But then I go back to my roots and I remember, I don't want my couples to look at their photos and think, God, that was so 2016. I want them to think, okay, yeah, these hold up. Maybe you can tell from the style of dress of what year you got married, or that kind of thing, or your trends that you followed, and your decor or something like that. But I want your photos to, remain timeless, and I want your kids to be able to look at them and be able to, think how classic and elegant and you were. So I follow that path, with my editing and my posing. I want everything to feel authentic and natural and real. I don't want you to feel like you're like stiff and uncomfortable and awkward, which a lot of getting used to that sort of thing comes in with the engagement session as well, to kind of loosen you up a little bit, get you used to doing pictures together.
Yeah, absolutely. I know it's not as easy to be in front of the camera as everyone makes it look to be. No. So we make it such an easy experience. And so we wanted to go through some of your work. I mean, there is pages and pages and pages of beautiful work. But I wanted to make sure that they could see different venues that we have here in the Las Vegas area and different styles, because I think that your wedding, doesn't matter how you do it, it can be perfect and it can be captured beautifully. So here is a wedding that was at JW Marriott. So tell us a little bit more information about this wedding and some of the options that you captured.
Yeah, so this wedding was at our gorgeous JW Marriott in Summerlin. It's a property that has a hotel and a casino and all of the Vegas stuff, but it's not on the Strip, which is a great bonus because you can have your own photographer. A lot of times with properties on the Strip, you can't bring your own photographer or choose your own vendors. But I love this property for that reason. And this couple was actually a destination wedding. They're from Texas. And it was a fall wedding. So you can see she had the long sleeve dress. They have these fall kind of wine colored burgundy dresses. And he even has like a little duck feather in his boutonniere, which is like a tribute to, his love of like, hunting and fall and stuff like that. So, they had an outside ceremony, as you can see. It's all kind of like this natural light, which is the style that I strive to go after. Natural light, soft, elegant, beautiful. But they did have that fall vibe and very green. They wanted a lot of green. So we found all places on the property to get the most greenery, which is not hard at all at JW Marriott. We may be in the desert, but we have venues like this here too. So it's a traditional wedding for a destination couple.
Yeah, which I love that. I do feel like there's so many hidden spots that are really not very far from each other. Everything is on property at the JW. And so it allows for a lot of easy photography options there, which is spectacular. The next wedding we had is at Hilton Lake Las Vegas, which is another stunning destination location that has so many different options for photos. And so here are some of that. So what were some of the items you captured here?
So this one is also at a property off the strip, the other direction at Lake Las Vegas. But this is more of a spring, summertimey vibe. They've got like light and bright colors. She's got a sleeveless dress. Her girls are wearing a blush color, but they still kept it extremely classic with that black tie look, which that never goes out of style. If you don't know how to dress your groomsmen, black tie, done, call it. It's going to be good forever. Yeah. And they had an indoor reception and an indoor ceremony. The indoor reception you can see from that top photo. So, they lit this ballroom, which is, if you're getting married in summer, you don't want to do your reception outside. But there are ways to make a beautiful indoor venue, as you can see, candlelight and beautiful gold accents and floral, all of which, wedding planner can help you execute all of that. And so they had a lot of greenery too, but one of the great things about Hilton Lake Las Vegas is that they have the water, which you can see in the top left there. And they also have a lot of architectural features. So they have a bridge over the water with a chapel. That's where they got married, in this kind of Tuscan themed chapel, and lots of like elegant architectural features to incorporate. So it's just a different type of Vegas wedding, other than what you'd think of. Not everything has to be a drive-through on the strip, or, at a turn and burn 15-minute ceremony in a chapel on the strip. There are ways to make your Vegas wedding super traditional, yet unique and elegant and beautiful.
Absolutely. And then this next wedding is again out at Lake Las Vegas, but such a different vibe, such a different spot with the sand and the boat, all those other things. So I love the fact that we have so many options here in Las Vegas. And what are some of the details you captured here?
So this is a beach wedding, which you would never think would happen in Vegas, but we actually have beaches here. Lake Las Vegas has some beautiful, private beaches that you can take advantage of. And this is kind of an example of a micro wedding, which a lot of brides right now, they booked their venue and they were having 100 people. I see somebody says beach. Yeah. I love that. So they, a lot of my brides are coming to me now saying, we had booked our venue for 150 people and we have this big deposit at our venue. We still love the venue. We can't have that wedding anymore right now. And so, if you want to keep your deposit with your venue and you still want to have that same experience, a micro wedding is a truly great way to, use that and still get your elegant wedding portraits and still get your candlelight dinner and still get all of the things that you wanted, just on a much smaller scale. And actually these micro weddings are great for photography because you're not as the bride and groom, you're not, pulled in so many directions, and you're not, having to greet people and be seen over here and walk over to, do the next thing. It's so much more laid back. And so this is like a really, I see this trend coming in next year with more people just being like, you know what? I didn't see anybody in 2020. I'm just going to do my 20 favorite friends and family and just make it small and intimate,
Yeah. And I love that. So they had commented that they were going to get married in Maui. And now with everything going on, yes, there are totally options. And that's what Las Vegas has to offer, is that there are so many different places you can get married to kind of match other places without having to travel so far. And a photographer, if you let them know, hey, we wanted to get married in Maui, we still want that beach feel, they can absolutely do that. And I know in these photos, you can feel the warmth of the water. You can feel that soft area. I feel like the breeze is on me with these photos. So I love that. But, I think there's so many options, and it was captured beautifully here. So some other options that you have as well, which we'll partner in with Wedding Day, is portraits. And I think they're so important to capture life's most memorable moments. So some of the different options that you have is engagements, which we'll talk about the packages coming up, but those are included. But after you've gotten married, after you're starting your life, there are some really other fun things that are going on, maybe maternity, newborn, family photos, documenting time with your pets. I'm a cat lover. So if I could get my cat to stay in one place, I would do a photo with her. But I think those are amazing. So what are some of the places that you've found, and what are some of your favorite parts about portraits?
Yeah, so I have a whole slew of clients that, I did their engagement and I did their wedding, and then they called me the next year and say, we're expecting, we really want you to be there. You've done our other most important life moments. So then I do their maternity, and then I do a lifestyle newborn session for them, and then their family session for their cards that year. And it goes on as the families get older. So over 10 years of business, I have some clients that have taken me along with their life journey, and it's really, really cool to see, a family grow, and to see them, add new members to their family and still trust me. And it's like the most flattering thing I could possibly say about being, somebody's photographer, is that they want me there for all those important life moments. And then we grow together and we become friends, and I know their family. So yeah. I love, so you can see some different locations here. Vegas has so much to offer. And I don't think people realize there's a lot more than the Strip. If you're not from here, there's a lot of natural locations. So we have things like the desert Red Rock, the dry lake bed you can see in that maternity session, and Spring Mountain Ranch. You can see the views of Red Rock right behind that little family sitting in the grass. Wow. And then up top, we have the Neon Museum, which is like, if you want to show Vegas, but you don't want to deal with the crowds and the people everywhere and dealing with traffic and trying to get around. And, it can be quite the hassle, but the Neon Museum, you book it and it's just us. So it is incredible. It is such an amazing resource, and it's a nonprofit. So you feel really good about supporting, Vegas's history.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then those newborn sessions, those are all in your home. So my newborn sessions are really about like documenting, we just brought this baby home. This is our new life. This is her room or his room. This is our bedroom. This is us as a family. This is, it's less staged and propped, and it's more, it's more natural and memory driven. So
yeah, absolutely, which is wonderful. So real quick, I wanted to address, there was a question asking about same-sex weddings. I know that's never been an issue for you, and that it's absolutely something you love to take part in. So I don't, the photography doesn't change. It's people that you're taking photos of. But I know that there have been plenty of different options that you've had. So I don't know if you have any additional thoughts on that.
Yeah, I love same-sex weddings. Love is love. I love any couple that's in love. Those are my favorite couples. The couples that are passionate about each other and passionate about their love together. That's who I want to work with. That's my dream couple. Ones that love to laugh together and be together and enjoy each other's company. That just shines in the photos. It makes my job a piece of cake and fun. So I love same-sex weddings. I love any wedding where two people are, really in love, and engagement and family, of course, as well. And yeah, it's pretty much the same experience. Excuse me. The look is the same. The locations are the same. I adjust my poses based on the couple, not necessarily on same sex or opposite sex. But the poses are based on the couple, and whether you're more fun and laughy together and goofy, or whether you're more serious and romantic, all of that kind of and that's all kind of comes into play in the engagement session. You can get a vibe for how people are together.
Absolutely. And I think that's the most important, is just showing your relationship in the photos more than anything. It's just showing the love that the two of you have, because it's, such an amazing experience. So up here, we have your wedding collection options. So we'll go through a couple details that are included with all of them. We did list all of the packages. You can briefly touch on kind of what's different about them. And then we'll discuss a little bit of the investment, because you're offering a really special option, exclusive deal for our attendees today. So what are some of the things that are included in every package that you offer?
So every package has 2 photographers. Me, of course, I'm the primary photographer. My name's in the business. It better be me. But I also have a second shooter to help me kind of fill in the gaps. And, if things are running late, we can split up if we need to, or kind of get different angles. And, I have our little system down. I also will be the one to, work with you prior to the wedding day to go over how much coverage you need. I'll work with you, or if you have a planner, even better, I'll work with your planner. So you're just hands off to do, your planning and make sure that, we're going to get everything in that you want covered. They all include digital edited images on a flash drive and an online gallery. And they all include an engagement session, like we mentioned, which is generally an hour to an hour and a half. And it's a great icebreaker session. I encourage everyone to take advantage of that. Even if you got engaged 5 years ago and you did engagement session then, or somebody gifted it to you, if you can do an engagement session with your wedding photographer, that is the biggest advantage you can get before your wedding day, to get a chance to know each other, build that rapport, and it takes all your nerves away. It's so much easier on your wedding day. And then the other thing that also is included with every package is a guest book.
Awesome.
Featuring your engagement session images. So, it gives you something else to do with your engagement session images. You take them and you put them online, and you might use one on a save the date, but then you have your guest book and you set it out on your card table. People sign around it. And then you wake up the next morning and you read what everyone wrote to you. And it's like a wedding yearbook almost,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. And a lot of your guests are so excited to see those photos. They might have just seen 1 or 2 that you posted online, but this gives an opportunity to really look at all of them. And it's such a special memory to have, because it's like having an album, but also special notes from your guests in it as well. So with the different options that you have, there are different hours of coverage, because like we were talking about micro weddings, and then we were talking about longer weddings, because you might maybe have a smaller amount of people right now, but you want it to be a little bit longer, or you're having a special moment in advance, or you have some extra ceremonial things that you're doing. So you want a little extra time for that, maybe a full Catholic Mass, or more detailed, extra rituals that you're doing during your ceremony. So what are some of the options that they have when choosing what's best for them?
Yeah, so these packages that you're seeing here, these are kind of like my baseline packages that I created based on what I find my clients most commonly need. 7 hours of coverage with all of that stuff that I just mentioned, the engagement session and the guest book and gallery and the images. The next one's 8 hours and a 40-page wedding album. The next one's 9 hours, a 50-page wedding album, and 2 parent albums, which are duplicates of your big album that you keep for yourself, and you give the little ones to your parents or special, people at the wedding. But those are all customizable. Like you said, if you need more hours, add more hours. If you need less hours, change it. There's nothing set in stone here. These are just kind of to guide you. A lot of people don't exactly know how many hours you need. Like you said, if you have a planner, they will help you figure out how many hours you need, which is a huge advantage. I mean, if you haven't been married before or don't really know weddings, it's hard to know, So yeah, all of them can be changed based on, I'm getting ready. There's a 4-hour gap in between my ceremony and my reception, and I'm getting ready, somewhere that's 45 minutes away from the ceremony. All of that could be adjusted.
Yeah. And capturing every phase of the wedding day is so awesome, because when you're getting ready to first looks, or if you've got multiple details in your ceremony. And then even going through your reception, you always want to think about, I'm going to do a sparkler exit. I'm going to do different extra things as I'm leaving. We're doing a special leaving exit. You'll want the photographer there for that. So not every wedding does a photographer need to be till the very end. You'll work either with your team or your wedding planner, which of course we always recommend, to do all the different special things. If you're doing a bouquet toss or boutonniere removal, or boutonniere, garter.
Garter, yeah.
Take a boutonniere off. But the nice part is that you'll be able to adjust based on what's needed and what's happening at your actual wedding.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of times people don't need us till the very end unless they're doing a sparkler exit. Sometimes people just want the sparkler photo. They don't really want to do a grand exit because they're just going to go down to the bar at the hotel and hang out anyway with all the guests. So a lot of times we'll do like a sparkler photo op, a couple of hours into the reception, and just pull the bridal party and the bride and groom outside and just do a photo of that.
Yeah.
And so all of it can be adjusted based on, whether you need more time at the beginning or more time at the end. And it's up to, I would help you figure that out as well.
That's perfect. And so with it comes investment, it's going to range. Obviously, as you're talking about custom, we like to say it's between about $3,500 and $5,500, depending on what you want, what you're needed. That can go up or down, depending on what you're adding on. And of course, that's including different albums and different stuff that's included. But one special thing I did want to mention is that you are offering a spectacular option for our guests here with Wedding Team Collective, that if they book after mentioning Wedding Team Collective, they'll receive $200 off any wedding package of 6 hours or more, which is such a huge saving and such a fun way to say thank you for joining us here at the Wedding Team Collective. So we're very appreciative of that.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Absolutely. So some couple details as we're kind of wrapping up here with the time frame, booking time frame. Things are ever changing with COVID and everything else going on. But usually we like to say about a year in advance so you can get all of your photos taken. Are there anything that you would recommend about booking time frame?
Yeah, if you are looking for spring or fall, as you might, if you might have been told by venues already, October is our busiest season. So if you're looking at April or May, March, April, May, really, September, October, November, those are the months that go the fastest. So if you want to get married during that time frame, especially on a Saturday, just, your photographer is one of the first things you look for after your venue. Just that's one of the things that books up the fastest because we only do one wedding. You can fill in, some of the other details after booking, the photographer, the florist, and the cake and stuff like that because they do multiple weddings. But I recommend getting us in touch as soon as you know. I mean, even if you're getting married in 2022 and you want your choice and you don't want to lose your favorite option, just get in touch as soon as you know. And the retainer is what's due up front, but the rest isn't due till closer to the wedding. So you have all that time to kind of get your budget and your finances all prepared for that.
That's perfect. So quickly before we run out of time, just mentioning changes and cancellations. If for some reason you do need to cancel, well, moving your date, Kristen's going to be able to work with you depending on her availability. But if there was a need to cancel, you are willing to take any credit that they have and put that toward a photo service up to a year after the cancel date. So if they wanted to do some family photos, different things that other come up, maybe whatever might be happening in the next year, you'll be able to do that with them, an elopement, anything like that. We can put the credit toward. And then with the images, you are very fast. So there are 50, roughly, this is all a rough number, but about 50 sneak peek numbers or images in the first week. And then the full gallery really only takes 4 to 6. I know you take a lot of pride in making sure that they get that in that time frame because you're just eager to get those photos. And then there's an expectation roughly of about 100 images per hour, edited images. So the nice thing is there won't be anything missed, which is spectacular. So I wanted to we will answer these questions. We're running out of time.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's fine. We're going to answer these questions and we will post them on the website for you guys. And then that way you get a more information, please make sure to visit Kristen Marie's website, and she will be able to work with you and get to know you and know what's best for you and figure out your date. But thank you so much for joining us, Kristen. We really appreciate it. And we're hoping that you'll be snapping around all over the city coming up with our Wedding Team Collective.
Yeah, I can't wait. Looking forward to 2021 and more.
Absolutely. Have a great day. Thanks, guys.
So much.